the only difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that the successful people never stop. Like they heard no's and everything, but they never stopped. They kept going, and that's the only difference, man. You just got to keep going.
1, 2, yeah. Come on. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, sir, you are tuned in. This is for the SB1200, ASR 10s and NPC heroes. This is for the crate digging, loop getting, sound manipulators, the Fruity Loop reasoning machine innovators that pump the bass and frequently freak the kick in a stand till it slaps in your speakers. The sound providers that make sure the song is tight. Shout out to the producers, beats grinding live. Shout out to the producers, beats grinding life.
Welcome to the Beats Grinding Life podcast with your host Siren, a weekly interview podcast with inspiring music producers, where every week you will learn from a different music producer how to potentially take your music career to the next level.
Today's episode of Beats Grinding Life is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audio download and 30-day free trial at beatsbooks.com. Over 180,000 titles to choose from on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Some recommended readings by past Beats Grinding Life guests like 48 Laws of Power, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, The Secret, Tools of Titans, and The Song Machine are all available with Audible. Once again, go to beatsbooks.com to get your free book. What's up, Beat Grinders? This is Beats, Grind, and Life, a podcast dedicated to educating, connecting, and guiding producers of all levels all around the world. I'm your host, Siren Beats, and with us today we have Clint. Clint is a music producer, songwriter from Toledo, Ohio, but now residing in Atlanta, Georgia. Clint is someone who prides himself in his versatility, which apparently has served him well. With a diverse resume, Clint has leveraged that to become an educator on music licensing and business. He has helped many aspiring producers make their dream a reality while bolstering his career to greater heights. His credits include Grammy Nominated Tamar Braxton, Dondria, NBC, MTV, VH1, Fox Sports, TV One, Netflix, Showtime, and if that's not enough, he has many, many more. Yo, Clint, how you doing, man?
Yo, Siren, what's good, man? Thank you for having me.
Man, thank you for coming on the show, man. I'm doing well, man. I'm just happy, man, just to have you up on here, man. I get to pick your brain.
Nice. Glad to be here.
Dope, man. Dope. Well, man, I read an intro on you, a brief intro, just to let the Beat Grinders know a little bit about who you are. But I want you to just give us a fact about you, something that we may not know.
Yeah, I love pizza.
Dope.
Real talk, like I get pizza every day.
What are the toppings? Yeah. What's the dream pizza?
Man, you know, lately I've been real heavy on pepperoni, green peppers, and mushrooms, and then the crust. We fixed the crust up with the garlic parm, butter thing. So yeah, that's what I've been on lately.
Okay, so you're making pizza. You're not just ordering out.
No, I'm ordering, dude.
Okay.
To make it.
Well, you do seem like a busy man after reading all of those credits, all your credit listings, man. You do seem too busy to be cooking pizza, so.
No doubt.
All right, man. Well, before we get started, I just got to ask you: is pineapple a real topping on a pizza?
Dude, I can't do it, man. I can't. Like I know people who do it, and it's probably that sweet, salty thing, right. But I just can't. Do
you judge?
No judgment.
No judgment. Okay.
However you like your pizza, hey, I support you 100%.
For sure, man. For sure. Well, that's what's up, man. I mean, we dove in deep on the pizza thing. You love pizza. I love food just in general. I swear I have like a fat boy inside of me. Right. But we're gonna shift on to music production, man. That's why we have you up on here. And whenever we have a guest on Beats Grinding Life, man, we want to know the origin story. So I want to know with you, man, how did you get into music, and how did you get into music production?
Yeah. So my family is heavily involved in music. I grew up in church, so that's my background. My mom was a singer. Got aunts and uncles who were musicians and singers. My dad's a musician, and he tries to sing occasionally. And I was always around music, man, in the house. So around 5, I kind of picked up drums and started playing drums in the church. And then around 15, 16, I started playing around with keyboards and just kind of playing around with the synthesizers and sequencing beats and stuff on the keyboards. And that really got me interested in production. And I just kind of stayed in that lane from kind of 15 on, and just really focused on, just learning the craft of producing music and editing and producing a song and manipulating audio and things like that. Nice. So that's kind of where it started for me.
That's awesome, man. That's dope right there. They say that some of the best musicians and singers come out of church.
Absolutely.
Man, so you definitely 100% believe in that. Just having parents and just having parents that were into music and just being, engulfed with music because everyone in your family did it, how much of an advantage did that give you?
Mm-hmm. I think it's a huge advantage, man, because when you grow up around it, you start training your ears, even not knowing. Your ears are beginning to develop and be trained, and especially with uncles being musicians who play by ear, it really taught me kind of how to hear notes, how to hear melodies, harmonies, and things like that, without necessarily having any music theory background or anything. So it really trained the improvisation side of me and things like that. So yeah, I think it's a huge advantage.
Nice. Loving that, man. Loving that. Okay. Well, when you first started playing the keyboard and you started getting into music production and music editing, what equipment or software did you start off with?
So the PlayStation music generator was one of the first programs. So me and a buddy of mine who he does music today too, but he kind of put me onto it, and we would just make beats on there. And then it was Magic's Music Maker. Once I shifted to the computer, it was like a $10 program from Best Buy, and that program kind of gave me experience with just dragging and dropping loops and just kind of bouncing songs out and things like that from a PC program.
That's dope. That's dope, man. Well, I mean, the music generator definitely showed me it doesn't matter what you make your music on. It's the person making the music, not the equipment. Because I've heard some people make some pretty dope stuff on the music generator. I mean, the sound kind of stockish,
right.
But at the same time, I mean, I've heard some pretty good stuff on there. So, and that music maker. It seemed like it was well worth the investment of $10. It kind of trained you on how to make music, and like you said, drag and drop and edit and stuff. So that's what's up.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, well, when you were doing all this, when you first started getting into it, who were some of the music producers that inspired you?
Pajam, which is J Moss PDA. They're based out of Michigan.
Okay.
So them, Brian Michael Cox,
nice.
Dark Child was a huge influence. Harvey Mason Jr., which I didn't know it at the time, but it was a lot of records that I would listen to a lot. And then later on found out, he was kind of behind a lot of those. Tank as a producer,
nice.
An inspiration as well. Later on, Quincy Jones later on inspired me, especially from a composer, composer point of view.
Right.
Those are a few of the guys that that really inspired me.
That's dope right there. So I mean, I hear a lot of R&B stuff in there. How does that help you when I see you make your videos on YouTube? And if you guys, Beat Grinders, if you guys haven't checked Clint's YouTube page out, you definitely need to do that. But how I see you making like hip hop beats for some of your placements. How does having, or having all those R&B influences, does that help you, or did that hinder you in your development with getting placements or anything?
At first it hindered me when I first started getting into TV placements, because I had a lot of R&B tracks, but it wasn't a lot of opportunities for R&B music to be used in TV at the time. So as time shifted, when I had made like this hip hop sports anthem, and that was actually like my first. It's called I'm Taking Over, and that was actually my first TV placement on NFL Network. And then I was just like, okay, this got placed, I'm gonna make more of this. And then as time went on, I just found that hip hop was just like really in high demand. Like even today, trap hip hop music it's in really high demand. So I kind of, it's one of those things where you want to serve your clients. So if they need hip hop, I'm gonna give them that. But I still work with artists. I have a beat store where I produce R&B, like just music that I like to produce anyway, whether it's for TV placement or not. So
okay, so how do you find a balance between what you want to make, or can you find a balance between what you want to make and what your client is looking for? It seems like a lot of times with TV placements, as far as hip hop goes, they're looking for like commercial hip hop. Is there a place for like boom bap or anything like that? I mean, do you just have to search a little harder to find those kind of placements, or is there a middle ground between what someone may want to make and commercial music?
Yeah, I think it's all about time and who needs it, because there's always a need for like literally everything, but it just depends on the publisher you're working with. If they produce or not produce but place a certain type of genre the most, then that's what they're going to ask you for a lot. But it's all about timing, man. Like you could have some stuff, some boom bap in the catalog and just have it ready, and then the opportunity definitely come up where they can use it, and then you're gonna have times where they want some R&B, and then you put it out. But for me, the balance is in I kind of work off of briefs now, so a lot of my publishers and partners, they're sending me briefs of what they want, and then I just kind of use that as a guide for a few days out of the week, and then I have a couple other days where I just kind of focus on just being creative, man, just making what I want. So I don't feel like I'm not letting my creativity out.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, thank you for answering that question, man. I really appreciate it. The publisher sending you briefs, how long does that take before you get to that point?
I think it took me
like a trust issue, like they only do that with clients that they trust.
Right. Like once you develop a relationship, it's all about relationships. But once you develop that relationship and they know they can go to you for a specific, style of music, they'll start reaching out and hitting you up pretty regularly. I think it took me maybe, I don't know, a solid year before, maybe even less than that, before they just really started reaching out. And the thing is, you just have to be consistent, keep delivering, and they'll keep hitting you back, man, especially once they start placing the music that you're giving them.
Right. Dope. Nice. Okay, man. All right. Well, I'm having a great time talking to you about music placements, music licensing, and just your background in general, man. I'm having a great time doing this, but it's all going to shift right here, because this is the part of the interview where I try to make the guest cry, and so I'm gonna try my hardest with you, man. It hasn't happened yet, but but we're gonna see. I'm gonna try to make it happen. I want you to tell me a major setback or a failure, Clint, that you've had in your career that you were able to bounce back from. And the only reason why I'm making you do this is because there might be a producer that's listening today that's going through the same thing that you once went through, and maybe your story might be able to help them out.
Yeah, man, dude. Honestly, the TV and film stuff, man. Like when I very first, like, I mean, people see the placements now, but man, like when I very first started pursuing getting TV placements, man, like all I heard was no. You know, I went out to road rallies. It was like a big conference for sync licensing out in LA. Connected with a lot of people. But never landed anything, man. It was just like, my music was just never where it needed to be. Like they could tell that the skill was there. Right. You know, you could make music, but there was no, for TV, the structure wasn't there. The mix wasn't quite there. I didn't have the mainstream sound, you know, wasn't there. So I heard a lot of no's, man, and it was years, man, before I seen that first placement, and years that it took me to actually learn what works for TV, because it's different than producing music for artists. So I kind of fell back a little bit on the TV thing. It just went back kind of focusing on just making what I wanted to make for artists and things like that. But then around 2011, I ended up signing a publishing deal with a publisher who they kind of, you know, pitch music for TV, and then I want to say later in 2012, that's when I got the first the NFL Network placement, man. So and I started this. I think I first heard about TV licensing around 2007, 2008 was when I first kind of started focusing on it. So it was years, man, before I got that one yes, you know what I mean? Right.
Wow. Well, yeah, thank you for sharing that. That sounds like it can be very frustrating. And glad you stuck with it, man. You didn't let the first two, the first three, the first 10, 20 no's, you know, discourage you at all, man. And you kept at it. So I think that's definitely one of the common themes on this show. You know, a lot of producers say, you know, that they keep getting that no, but you know, eventually they get that yes. You gotta climb a mountain of no's just to get that one yes. So,
man, listen, a friend of mine, we were talking about it, and we were just like, the only difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that the successful people never stop. Like they heard no's and everything, but they never stopped. They kept going, and that's the only difference, man. You just got to keep going.
Nice, man. Nice. I mean, that definitely takes a lot of courage for one, you know, and then just confidence in yourself as well, just to know that, you know, hey, just because that one person didn't like it doesn't mean that doesn't devalue who I am and my skill, you know. And if it doesn't mean that I'm where I am, it doesn't mean I can't improve to get to where I need to be. And so, and I think I heard you say that your skill wasn't quite where it needed to be at that moment, and you just kept chopping away. And so that's dope, man. That's an inspiring story. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Well, I didn't get to make you cry. That's kind of discouraging on my part, but it's all right. We're gonna hop to the other side of this, man. And so I want to know, what's the greatest moment in your career? What's the crowning moment in your career that thus far?
Man, dude, I want to say, I think one thing that really kind of changed the direction of my career was the moment I decided to start what I call the road to 10 placements journey. And that's what happened. What happened was, you know, I got the placement on NFL Network. So and then I didn't see anything for a while after that. So I was just like, okay, I really want to pursue this. I was freed up from a publishing deal. So I was free, man. I was able to do whatever. So what I did was, pretty much I was just like, okay, I'm gonna document everything I do to land these first 10, or well, after the first one, these 10 TV placements, and just really just document it, vlog on YouTube. Nice. That kind of got my YouTube channel going, and posting on Instagram, and just showing everybody just an inside look of what it takes, you know, to get TV placements. And as a result of that, man, like, it grew into, you know, doing consultations, helping other producers, nice. Doing critiques, creating courses around music licensing. Like the whole thing just kind of blew up and took my career in like this totally different direction that I wasn't even trying to do for real, but it just kind of grew step by step. And, you know, just as a result, man, I've been able to have a major impact on other people's lives, which I think is the most important, man, is being able to give back and help other people. Yeah. So that, you know, starting that Road to 10 Placements journey just really allowed me to help a lot of producers.
Awesome, man. Wow, that's dope right there, man. I mean, you know, you were trying to help yourself, you know, I mean, not for selfish reasons or anything, but you just wanted to get those 10 placements and then just document it. And then it turns out just by doing that, you help so many other people, man. That's dope right there. Wow, that's awesome. Beat Grinders, like I said, if you guys aren't tuned in to Clint's YouTube channel, you definitely need to do that. Subscribe to it, or just check out a couple of videos, and I'm sure that will get you hooked to where you'll definitely need to subscribe to his channel. So wow, that's dope right there, man. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem, man.
All right, man. Well, you're doing some pretty big things, and you know, I look up to you, man. I want to get to your level one day. I'm sure that there's a lot of beat grinders listening. They want to get to your level as well, man. And so, in order to do that, man, we need to just kind of take a look at what you're doing and incorporate some of that into what we're doing. And so, I want to know, what do you do on a typical day?
Yeah,
that'll help us structure our day to where we can elevate and move to the next level.
Yeah, so I like to create like a schedule, a weekly schedule. I usually start, you know, looking and brainstorming on Sunday about how what I want to do, what content do I want to post every day on Instagram and things like that. So Monday, you know, usually I'm focusing on making beats for, like, you know, my beat store artists and things like that. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm focusing on TV and film, so I can get that stuff done. And then Thursday, I'm kind of focused more on marketing, you know, whether that's, you know, checking in on Facebook ads or Instagram ads, or coming up with marketing ideas, or whatever, just whatever has to do with marketing, or learning something. And then, you know, Fridays is kind of like video editing content for YouTube and things like that. Nice. So yeah, that's that's kind of how I structure the week. And then through each day, I'll just kind of create a to-do list with at least 3 major things that I want to accomplish that day. Because I like to do something to push me a step forward and to the direction that I'm trying to go. So I'm constantly, you know, making progress.
Nice. Wow. Awesome, man. Thank you. You know, you gave us a bonus in there. Not only did you tell us how your days go, but you also told us how your weeks go. So thank you for that, man. I just want to ask you, so are you not working on music every day?
No, I'm not working on music every day, especially now, man, with the little one. But yeah, there's days where I take to create, and then there's days where I'm just working on business stuff. You know, I have an assistant as well, and she helps me a lot with just a lot of admin stuff that just takes so much time away from the actual music. Right. So yeah.
Dope, man. That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that, man. There's definitely some things in there that I'm going to incorporate. Thank you for sharing that. Just to know that somebody like you, you know, that's doing the things that you're doing, you know, you have it all scheduled out like that. I love it, man. Thank you so much. All right. Well, this next portion of the interview is called In the Studio. I can't see your studio right now. The beat grinders can't, because we're locked. We got our headphones on. We're listening. But this is the next best thing, is we get to find out what you do in the studio, how you do it, and what you do it with. So, you ready, man?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. What do you do when you first start making beats? Do you have any kind of set ritual? Do you light incense, turn the lights up, turn them down, get coffee? What do you do?
I order a pizza. No, usually I come down to the studio. Mm-hmm. I'll set the lights up. I got some the color LED lights and kind of turn the lights down a little dim. And then turn all my gear on, and then just kind of vibe out, man. From there, usually I'm starting with like chords or like a melody or something first, and then I just kind of build around that. Okay, nice. What's a not so secret weapon you got in the studio?
Man, not so secret weapon. I don't know, man. I think man, I don't know. Like, I guess my secret weapon would be, I don't know. Like, I've been real heavy on native instruments, so I have like the complete controlled keyboard, the machine, and complete 12. Nice. So that's kind of my weapon. Of choice right there.
Just native instruments.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. So you just named some of the stuff that's in your studio. What else do you have in there? What's all in your arsenal these days?
Yeah, so I'm using audio interface. I'm using the Motu Track 16, JBL monitors, my bass guitar, 5-string bass, Audio Technica mic if I'm doing any mic things. What else? And the Hackintosh is the brains of it all.
I'm loving that. That's what's up. All right, well, Beat Grinders, if there's anything that Clint mentioned that perked you guys' interest, that you want to know more about, I'll definitely provide links to all those things in the show notes, except for the Hackintosh. So
yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right. Well, this next portion is called In the Mix. We're just going to speed things up. It's kind of like rapid fire. I'm going to ask you some quick questions. You respond with quick answers. But if you need to take your time to elaborate on any of these, please do. It's much encouraged.
Dope.
So, all right. Do you prefer making beats with samples or without?
Without.
Okay. And I want to ask an extra question. Do you ever make beats with samples?
Rarely. Like if it is, it's rare. Like if it's a sample, it's something that I own pretty much. Right. So I don't really. Yeah.
Okay. What's your opinion on selling and leasing beats online?
I think it's dope. It's another stream of income for producers.
Nice. Plug-in that every producer should have in their arsenal. Plug-in or VST. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say Omnisphere, man.
Nice.
Crazy.
Damn, that one's mentioned so many times.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of everyone's favorite right there.
Yeah.
A book that you think every producer should be reading. And it doesn't have to be music related, but it can.
Yeah. Right now, Rich Dad Poor Dad is one of my favorites right now.
Awesome. That one is a classic for sure. It seems like it's picked up a lot of speed here in the last year or so, but that one is definitely a classic by Robert Kiyosaki. Beat Grinders, if you guys haven't got it, definitely go pick that up.
Absolutely.
Okay. Is there an internet resource that you use that you think every producer should be using? And when I say internet resource, I mean like a website or a mobile app.
If you're selling beats online, I think the BeatStars mobile app is dope. Even if you're an artist, I think especially an artist or a songwriter, because you can like write lyrics and everything like all within that app. Damn. So the BeatStars app is dope. Yeah, it's crazy. Like you can look up rhymes and everything for words. It's crazy. Man, websites. What website? I don't think I have one, like something that I use a lot. An app.
YouTube.
A must have. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely YouTube, a metronome app on the phone. And I use like a little mini like piano app on my phone to find like the keys of songs or notes and things like that. So those are like crucial for me. Yeah.
Go. Okay. If you can just describe to us your first placement, that would be dope, man. I know that there's a lot of beat grinders that are looking for that first placement, and maybe your story can inspire them, and you don't have to rush through this question. I meant to tell you that we're just slowing things down a little bit, but yeah, if you can just tell us your placement.
Okay. Which one? First TV placement or first like major artist placement?
Whichever you want. I'll let you decide.
Okay. Well, I guess I talked about the TV one.
That's true.
Talk about the Tamar Braxton placement. So the Tamar Braxton, it wasn't my first experience working with a major artist, but it was the first actual placement, or placements actually. It was like 4 placements, but nice. So that came about. It was I was doing some it was a contest that it's a songwriter TC, crazy dope songwriter, but he had a contest out some years ago, and he was looking for producers to remix his record, and I remixed the record, entered the contest. I came in second place, so I didn't win, but he liked my version so much that he went and posted it anyway, and it gained a lot of dope feedback. So nice. That was kind of the start of the relationship with that, and we were just doing remixes for like, I don't know, man, for a while. Like, we were just knocking out remixes, just having fun. Then the situation came up. Christmas time was around the corner, so they were out in New York working on Tamar's Christmas album, and he reached out and was just like, yo, like, I need can you work on this song or whatever? I got the acapellas, put music to it, do your thing. I did that. It was Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Sent it back. They loved it. The team loved it. They flew me out to New York. I think that weekend or something, the following weekend.
Wow.
And then they locked us in the studio to work on, the whole album. So, so that was a dope experience, and ended up getting 4 placements off of that.
Wow, that's dope right there, man. That's awesome. All from a contest, it just led to something else down the line. That's dope, man.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that story, man. Now I want to know, what's your favorite song you ever produced?
Oh, man, that's tough, man. I don't have a favorite. Yeah, okay. Man, it's too many, man. But I don't have a favorite. I like everything, and then I don't know. It's weird for me because once I finish a record, man, it's like I don't listen to it a whole lot after that, because I hear it like literally like a million times before it's done. Right. Because I'm putting it together, I'm mixing it, master. Like, so after it's done, I usually don't even listen a whole lot.
Okay. All right. Well, what's an album besides one that you've worked on that you recommend every producer listen to, and why?
Michael Jackson's Thriller album.
Nice.
Man, dude, like Quincy Jones, man, he's a genius, bro. Like when you listen to that album, it doesn't seem like it's a whole lot going on, right? But when you listen to it, it's a lot going on, but he makes it sound so simple. And I feel like it's a lot you can learn just from listening to the instrumentation, listening to where he placed the instruments, listening to how the instruments kind of respond to each other. Like, they're not all playing at the same time. It's kind of like a call and response type of thing. But yeah, man, that album's dope. Nice. So yeah, I recommend that.
Okay. I think that may be one of the most recommended albums on this show. But it just gives me a reminder that I do need to listen to it again. One of my favorites of all time. And so, I'll definitely do that. Beat Grinders, if you guys need to listen to it again, or if you need to listen to it for the first time, just go to beatsgrindandlife.com under the show notes, and I'll provide a link, probably a Spotify link for that. All right.
Nice.
I want to know, man, I'm going to take you to Mount Rushmore, and we're going to go and we're going to take all the president's faces off of there. We don't need them on there no more. What we need are 4 producers. What 4 producers are you going to put up on Mount Rushmore?
Clint. Ooh, 4 producers. Man, I'm going to do Quincy Jones. I'm going to do Timberland.
Nice.
I'm going to do Man, who? I'm gonna do Dark Child. Yeah, I mean, he's one of my favorites. Where I'm at 3 now, right?
Yep.
And then let's see. I gotta put Pharrell up there, man.
Nice. Yep.
I gotta put Pharrell because he like what he did with Happy. I mean, that joint was crazy. But not only that, but he's like, I think I've seen him. I think he's working on Lion King. Like that's just epic. You know what I mean? Like that's just crazy. So yeah, those would be the 4.
Yeah. I mean, I love people that have a wide range. They can do anything. And I think it was when Happy came out. I told somebody, I was like, you know, he used to do like gangster rap type stuff, and they're like, no, get out of here. Like, yeah, no, he did. Like, seriously. But yeah, he can do it all, man. Just like all the guys that you mentioned, you know, can do it all, you know, and so that's a dope Mount Rushmore right there, man. All those guys have been mentioned before. I can't remember if Dark Child, I think one person mentioned Dark Child, which is strange because he's a legend. He's a living legend, you know, and he was at the top of the game back in the 90s, man, and so in the early 2000s. So that's dope. Thank you for that. Beat Grinders, if you guys aren't familiar with some of these guys, I'm sure probably Timberland, Pharrell, but if you're not familiar with Quincy Jones' work or Dark Child, definitely go do your research. All right, man. Well, I want you to imagine that you just woke up from a dream, and in that dream, you had the perfect studio session. That perfect studio session was one artist, one co-producer to go along with yourself, one engineer, and one random person. And all these people can, I mean, it's a dream, so they don't have to be living. It can be from any era. So yeah, what's your perfect studio session? Okay.
Michael Jackson as the artist. Quincy Jones as the co-producer. Who's the I got an engineer. As you can hear, my son's here now. Let me see. Who's a good man? I can't remember any engineers' names. That's sad. I feel bad.
Oh man.
Let's just say whoever engineered the Thriller album, so I can learn some things. And then a random person. Oh man.
Maybe your son.
Yeah, that would be fun. If he's a little older.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was like, I don't know how much work you're gonna get done.
Yeah, I'm gonna say my wife, man, my support system.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that answer. Every time, you know, that's been brought up a couple times for the random person is, you know, the significant other, and so I love that answer. I'm a sucker for that. So, but that's dope, man. It sounds like you guys would recreate Thriller, but just a newer vibe. So that would be dope. Yeah. I wish that we could hear that. Obviously, it's impossible, but yeah, that would be dope, man. It does sound like a dream session.
And I set them in there just so I can sit there and learn, dude. I wouldn't even.
Not right.
I'd be quiet the whole time.
I hear that, man. That's what's up. Yeah. Okay, well, I want you to imagine again that you just woke up on a whole new planet this time. And on that planet, it's identical to Earth. But you don't have anything except for the knowledge that you've gained over all these years of being around music and $1,000. What would you do in the next week to get your career started back?
I get me a reasonable laptop. I get me Logic program. I get a little MIDI controller.
Nice.
And either I get a pair of studio monitors, and then a cell phone with Instagram and all that stuff on there, man. And I just start making music, man, and posting it, and just putting myself out there. So people can hear it.
Nice, man. I love that answer, man. A few people have mentioned a phone or something like that, but I think that's overlooked. A lot of people just overlook that part. Is you can make beats all day long, but you definitely need exposure. You definitely need to get out there, or definitely need to be seen, grab attention. And so you hit that one on the head, man. Thank you for that answer. That's dope right there.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, man. Well, I want to know when it's all over for you, man. It sounds like you're gonna be doing music for the rest of your life, but
definitely,
I want to know when it is over, what do you want your legacy to be, and what is legacy to you?
Yeah, I mean, legacy to me is what people will remember you by when you're gone, and what you leave behind long after you're gone. And I want people to remember me as a God-fearing dude, who wanted to help as many people as possible, and who was who was just committed at being as great of a husband, a father, and just a human being as he could be, man.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Well, you're definitely doing all of those things right now from what I can tell. And so you're definitely living in your legacy, man. And I'm happy to see that's what you want to be, and you're definitely walking that path. I mean, a lot of us say we want to do X, Y, and Z, but we're not necessarily doing the things to get there. But I definitely see that you are, man, and I just want to say salute to you, man. That's
Thank
some
you, bro.
Dope stuff right there.
I appreciate that.
No doubt, man. All right, man. Well, I just want to ask you, without you giving away everything, because I think that the Beat Grinders, they definitely do need to go subscribe to your channel. They definitely do need to follow you on Instagram and everywhere else you are, because you drop tons of gems and you help people out. But I just want to know if you can just lead us in the right direction for music licensing, if you can just give us some tips on what we need to be doing to just start licensing our music.
Absolutely. First thing is just I would say making as much music as you can, because music licensing is a numbers game. Like, you can't send out 5 tracks and then expect to just start seeing royalty checks roll in. So just start building a catalog, start listening to TV shows to see what they're using a lot. I also have a free webinar that really gives you the basics on how to get started, easy way to get started. And you can check that out at clintproductions.com/webinar.
Nice.
And it breaks, I just kind of break, the easy way to get started, man. And it's not hard. A lot of people think it's impossible. It's hard, but I help you guys out, man.
Dope. That's awesome. Well,
yeah.
Beat Grinders, definitely go check Clint out. I mean, it sounds like he's there to assist us. And so I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to check out the webinar as soon as I get some free time. Hopefully that's tonight. But I urge you guys to do the same. Go check out his webinar and check out everything else that he's doing. So, he's here to help. So, thank you, man.
Yes, sir. No problem.
All right, man. Well, I want to know, what is the greatest piece of advice that you've received in all the years that you've been in music, and what advice would you have for all the producers listening today?
One of my mentors and friends of mine, he told me, he always says, like, work smarter, not harder. And that really stuck with me, man, because a lot of times we think, man, I got to grind hard. But a lot of times, man, if you just stop and think and work smarter, you can cover so much more ground, man. So I live by that, man. As far as my business is concerned, like, I try and think of smarter ways to do things. How can I save time? How can I work more efficiently so I don't have to work harder? You know what I'm saying? We don't want to work hard until we die. Like, we want to, build businesses that, that kind of, ultimately you want them to run themselves so you can spend more time with family and other things that you love. So, yeah. Nice. And then my advice for producers would be consistent, really study and learn your craft, and then be patient, because it's not overnight, man. It really takes years, man. Like, now, a lot of producers out here that's been doing it for a while, we may make it look easy or seem easy, but man, it's like literally because of the years that we put in,
right.
You know, before we've got to this point. So I would just say, just keep your head down, just keep learning, growing, and be consistent.
Awesome. That's dope. Thank you for all of that advice, man. You know, one thing I think a common theme within this interview is just being consistent. That's come up so many times, and so it's only right that we end on that note, man. So thank you for all of that advice, Beat Grinders. Please take what he said, keep it with you, write it down. And Clint, I want to know if there's any more words that you have for the listeners, if you want to let them know what they should be looking out for, what's coming up for you, or anything like that, and also how to contact you if you want to be contacted. That'd be great, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you guys want to keep in touch with me and learn more about me and what I do and learn from me, Instagram, I'm real heavy on Instagram right now. So I post content every week on there. So I got tips, funny memes, videos and things like that. So that my Instagram is Clint Music. So CLINT Music, and my website, clintproductions.com. I got a contact page on there if you want to get in contact with me. And yeah, man, just keep grinding. Dope. Awesome. All right. Well, I want to thank you again for coming on the show and just spreading all the wisdom that you did. And Beat Grinders, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Beats Grinding Life. Your listens are very much appreciated. If you guys found this show of any value, please share it on Instagram or share it on any other social media platform that you can. It just helps spread the news about how dope Beats Grinding Life is. And also hit up Clint, let him know what kind of value he gave to you. Let me know as well. It would be much appreciated. Rate and review this podcast on iTunes. Like I said, that helps to let everyone know how awesome Beats Grinding Life is. And you guys have been mentored by another dope producer. This time you've been mentored by Clint. So you guys can consider yourselves lucky for that. Keep making beats, stay on your grind, and live life, guys. All right, peace.
Here at Beats Grinding Life, we want to thank you for listening to another episode. We want to know, what were your biggest takeaways from this interview? Just go to beatsgrindandlife.com and leave a comment on this episode's show notes page. Also, while you are there, go subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Just click the little button that says subscribe. If you could, please leave a rating and review. Rating and reviews are the best way to show your appreciation because it helps more people find out about the podcast. So until next week's episode, keep grinding.